Nothing lasts forever. It's a completely bold statement that most of us have heard, whether that's in regards to wealth, relationships, materialistic things, family, or even yourself. More specifically, Earth, or what Earth has to offer us, natural resources. Good evening. My name is Christian Manuel, and I'm a high school student who believes that we, as a whole world together, should strive to conserve and control the usage of natural resources throughout our planet. Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th U.S. president, who even used his authority to protect public and wildlife, who once said that the conservation of natural resources is the fundamental problem. Unless we solve that problem, it will avail us little to solve all others. But specifically today, I wanted to talk about the fight for natural resources throughout our history, the effects and causes of a depleting, rotting earth, and how we can eventually unite together to solve the solution for the scarce survival of natural resources. But there's always that scary question, or that what if. Throughout this speech, I want you to have that thought of what if all Earth's natural resources are eventually depleted. And by listening to this speech, I hope you understand the value of every single resource we have, and hopefully participate in any way to conserve natural resources even around your home. So what are natural resources? Natural resources are gifts from nature, everything included from oil to fish in the sea, where these gifts are basically keeping humanity alive. We rely on this, and this is completely valuable as it sustains our society. And you can even see, dating from 1965 to 1990, that over 73 civil wars have occurred just because of natural resources. Because of this, thousands of people have died, and at least 18 international conflicts occurred because of this. So let me ask, why am I explaining this, how important natural resources are? Well, future generations will cease to exist if there's no resources to survive off of. In fact, society today requires about approximately 1.6 Earths to sustain our society. For example, fresh water only makes 2.5% of our total volume of the world. And even stated by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, it's predicted that by 2025, 1.8 billion people will live without water. And we are approximately only said to have 60 years left of natural resources. And even if we're not done by then, if we continue to extinguish every single natural resource, we will have consequences from soil erosion, global warming caused by greenhouse gases, extinction of species and loss of biodiversity, flooding, droughts, and destroying wildlife and humanity as we know and love today. So you may ask yourself, what can you do being a high school student? Well, there are so many things, and even, for example, the 3 R's. So more than half of America doesn't recycle, and the 3 R's are as easy as reduce, reuse, and recycle. And it is estimated by EPA that 75% of American waste is recyclable, but only 30% is actually recycled, and generating 21.5 million tons of food waste. And if we composted this food, we reduce the same amount of greenhouse gas as taking 2 million cars off the road. Another extremely important is conserving our water. For now, use less water and don't waste it, because the less water used, the less runoff and wastewater that will eventually end up in the ocean, polluting our ocean and killing our fish. It's extremely important as it protects our environment and protects the drinking water we drink. Who doesn't want pollution in their drinking water? It's also estimated that the average family wastes up to 180 gallons per week and 9,400 gallons from household leaks. I hope in the future that communities will come together and become more responsible with their water supply. Another easy method is gas or oil, or conserving this, or just taking another form of transportation. Conserving gas and oil means this is a more efficient use of our economical, social, and environmental benefits as we don't constantly pollute the air we breathe. And in fact, if you drive, you realize that gas is going way higher. This is due to oil becoming such a high demand and supply being so low. It's even estimated that we consume 36 billion barrels each year and are only around 47 years left. The most important method, however, is education. Not only can I educate about the importance of natural resources, I can only educate a small portion of it. Research more about it, volunteer, save your community, bring others together. It's even estimated that there is over 15,000 different registered nonprofit organizations focused mainly just on environmental and animal welfare. These organizations are attempting to save our nature's gift, and giving an hour of time would be such a great help, because without resources or anything, how can we possibly survive? So, eventually, if we start conserving our planet's resources, we can soon build a steady foundation for our future generation. Slowing down the usage of natural resources is not saving our own planet by reducing the greenhouse emissions, having a positive impact on our air, but would offer community a lot more time. We've already seen this happening as we've been transitioning towards electricity, like electric cars, solar panels on each houses, reusable energy, and so much more. Because doing such small things, conserving natural resources, can have such a huge impact, even turning off the lights. However, there have been countless remarks stating that conserving natural resources is a fail. And even according to the Tansy International College article, it is stated that natural resources conservation projects fail because of the lack of funds, the ignorance, lack of education, overpopulation, poor agricultural practices, and so much more. But this is due to our projects being viewed horribly and extremely low, taken seriously, not at all. But as a matter of fact, it's even said that we need to conserve 30% of Earth to ensure a stable society. But we only conserve about 14% of it. It's also stated that we need 103 billion to 809 billion to bend a curve in natural resources today. And this being said, organizations are non-profit. We don't get funded by governments. So hopefully, with this said, everyone can come together and we can create a more sustainable environment for not only the present society, but for future generations to come. By conserving today, I spoke with you about the importance of maintaining a stable society by conserving natural resources. Whether this is simple as educating yourself or throwing away plastic in the right area, our society relies on natural resources. From the beginning, who owns the most, to now, who has any remaining natural resources. We need to focus on now, because our now will affect the future. As this comes to an end, I hope you learn more about the conserving natural resources and hopes in contributing your hours in attempts to conserve natural resources. Thank you for your time listening to me about talking about natural resources and the importance of